Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great Monday so far. Wherever you're joining us from, we're super excited to have you today. My name is Christina, and I'm a training manager with Amazon Ads. And in just a little bit, I'll be joined by a guest speaker from one of our Amazon Ads partners, Mern One, to share how advertisers like yourself can work towards marketing efficiency in your sponsored ads campaigns to help optimize campaigns and maximize returns. Today's event is scheduled to run for about an hour with about 30 minutes of planned content, and we'll reserve the last 15 to 20 minutes or so for a live Q&A with our guest speaker to answer some of the most frequently asked questions that come through in the chat today. I want to cover a few things before we get started with the webinar today. So the first thing is that there is a chat box available to you where you can ask any advertising related questions that you have throughout the webinar today. I do have a couple of colleagues online that are really eager and happy to answer them directly in the chat box. I also want to mention that we will also have that designated time at the end of the webinar today where we will be answering those more frequently asked questions. So really make sure that you're putting those through throughout the webinar so that you can either get them answered on the chat or during that live Q&A. You'll also see that there are a couple handouts available to download today. So the first handout is a webinar overview handout. And this is where you can see all the webinars that my team of training managers provides on a weekly basis. Additionally, you'll find a PDF of the presentation that you can download, and you can take notes on that or, follow along with it throughout the presentation or look at it at a later time. If for some reason you can't find these handouts, or if you're having issues downloading the handouts, we will be sending a follow-up email after today's webinar, which will contain a recording of today's presentation along with those handouts. So I did want to note that. Another thing is if at any point during your experience today, you happen to experience some technical issues or you lose access to GoToWebinar, I simply request that you log out of the session or log back in. If that doesn't work and you log back in, you can also try refreshing the page a few more times to see if that helps. And if that doesn't help, I would recommend to let us know in the chat, see if we can help you out at all. But keep in mind that for some reason you do experience these type of technical issues, you will be receiving that recording of today's presentation. And then at the conclusion of today's session, or if you have to leave early, there will be a survey available for you to fill out. Your feedback here is really valuable to me and my team. It really gives us that opportunity to provide better content and better webinar experiences for you in the future. So I really recommend that you take about 15 seconds to fill out that survey. So I see more and more people are joining now, so I'd like to kick off the session today with a few polls. For those of you that are new to our webinars, welcome. And if you just joined and you didn't hear me introduce myself earlier, welcome. My name is Christina, and I'm a training manager with Amazon Ads. These polls are really for us to get a better understanding into where you sit when it comes to your knowledge and understanding of using sponsored ads and the available tools in your account. So the first poll here that I'm going to put up is how often do you look at your campaign insights? You'll see that pop up. I'll leave it up for about a minute and then I'll share those results. All right, you should see that pop up now. Like I said, I'll leave this up for about 60 seconds and then share those. Okay, I'll leave this up for about 10 more seconds. I'm going to close this out now and share those results. So it looks like we have people in all different buckets here, but the largest bucket is that people are looking at their campaign insights about once a day. So I do want to share another poll here. And the next one will be, do you know what metrics to use to measure performance against your different goals? So you should see that pop up now. And again, I'll leave this one up for about 50 seconds as well. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this one out and share those results. In here, we have a little bit of a mix as well, with about majority of the people saying for some goals, yes, for others, no. We really hope that today in our other webinars help you with getting to know which metrics to use to measure performance against your specific goals. And now we're going to share one last poll, and this one is, have you ever used a specific insight, made campaign changes, and saw a positive impact? So I'll go ahead and hide this one and then share this last question. And here you do have a few options to choose. I have used insights and saw positive results. I have used insights but did not see positive results. I have used insights but didn't know what changes to make, or I haven't used them to make campaign changes. All right, I'll leave this up for 10 more seconds. Okay. And here with this poll, we definitely have more of an even split throughout the 4 answers. Thank you everyone that participated in the polls today. I can see that most of our advertisers have joined our session, so we are ready to really get going. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. At this time, I would like to ask our guest speaker to join me on camera, and we will start with some introductions.
Hi.
Hi. Hey, Jeremy. How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
Good. So, Jeremy, we're so happy to have you with us today. To get started with our session today, can you provide us with an introduction into who you are and the kinds of services and support Marin One offers to advertisers?
Yeah, of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Jeremy Brown. I'm a customer engagement manager here at Marin, primarily focused on supporting my clients from a day-to-day perspective, helping them achieve their KPIs, goals, and just there to, just support them as an extended arm. And from a Marin perspective, so Marin One is an all-in-one advertising platform where you can optimize and analyze your page search, social, and e-commerce ads all together. We partner with over 30 different publishers and marketplaces, such as Amazon Advertising, to help simplify that the work of paid media managers for enterprise brands across the globe. So yeah, as I mentioned, think of us as an extended arm of your business, providing a suite of tools available to automate your workflows, save time and drive efficiency, which all fall under our 3 core pillars that are shown on screen.
Awesome. Thanks for that great introduction, Jeremy. Again, we're also happy to have you here with us today. So now Jeremy and I are going to go off our camera. We will be coming back on camera at the end of the session for the live Q&A, but we'll go off now so that the presentation is as large as possible on y'all's screens.
Thanks.
And Jeremy, I'll hand it right over to you.
Perfect. Yeah. If you want to go to the next slide, I think we've just spoken through that slide there that I just spoke about momentarily ago. So yeah, I wanted to kind of bring this up, but we've been continually improving our products as well as featuring our partners' great tools to just ultimately make life easier for paid marketers everywhere. So at our core, we believe in removing manual work as much as possible and letting publisher tools work hand in hand with third-party automation like ours to give marketers great results. So as part of our ongoing improvement efforts, we wanted to call out our reinvented Budget Optimizer tool that's been re-released to the public for effective omni-channel budget pacing and allocation. So again, this ties into our session today from an efficiency perspective. So it helps manage your budgets, making sure that, you know, specific campaigns that are performing better have that budget allocated to them, and lesser performing campaigns are, you know, you're not wasting any budget there.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Now, our focus today is improving marketing efficiency with your campaign insights. Before we jump into how to advertise in our audience today, let me backtrack. So before we jump into how advertisers in our audience today can be more efficient with our sponsored ads, I think it's important to first discuss what marketing efficiency is and why it's important in the context of Amazon ads. So maybe from your perspective, Jeremy, and from your experience, why does efficiency in marketing really matter?
I think for most businesses, improving efficiency is probably almost always high priority. Marketing efficiency involves reducing the amount of work and effort needed to achieve a desired result, whilst also maximizing the revenue and growth. And to maximize efficiency, marketing teams need to streamline their operations and produce more meaningful results. Identifying cost-effective and resourceful solutions is the best way to achieve those results with minimal budget and resources. So at Marin, we like to incorporate automation wherever possible to help the real human marketers work smarter and not necessarily harder. So to kind of sum it up, marketing efficiency is all about reducing the cost of promoting your product or service while still maintaining or scaling output and results. Being efficient allows you to be deliberate about the scale of advertising, the number of channels, the size of audience, length of campaign, amount of spend, and more. And by not practicing marketing efficiency and managing campaigns appropriately, you have the potential to lose track of expenses, you know, overspend on advertising, or not have enough budget to advertise during those key moments and timeframes, such as, you know, Prime Day, Black Friday, your seasonal periods, and even your own kind of sales events as well.
Thanks, Jeremy. Now that we have this foundational understanding in the importance of creating marketing efficiency, can you talk more specifically about how this can be achieved using the sponsored ads reports and campaign insights available to advertisers?
Yeah, I think firstly, before creating any advertising campaign, you should take into account all associated costs. These will include fees, production costs, overhead, and consider how much can be invested wisely to ensure the success of marketing strategy and back into appropriate ACoS. Put simply, to make a profit, don't spend more on advertising campaigns than your margin allows. So you can see this really quickly by looking at your ACoS performance. And as long as the ACoS is less than the margin, you're still making a profit here. So to calculate the margin, just deduct all relevant costs, which are, post-related fees, taxes, Amazon fees, overheads from the price. And in the example on screen here, below the red line, you can see that there's still a 20% margin left to spend on advertising campaigns without a loss. And this is generally called the break-even ACOS. And then if you also want to take into a margin after the advertising, which in our example here you can see is 5%, you would then need to subtract that from the ACOS to get your target value, which again, in our example here is the 15% that you're seeing on the right-hand side. So once you've got that ACOS sorted, then this is when you go into kind of looking at your overall performance. Once you've identified your target ACOS, it's all about the steps that you need to take to be efficient. A few tips are shown on screen here, which can help. Plan the duration of your campaigns. Do you have always on activity, or are your campaigns more seasonal? Keep an eye on CPCs is a massive one. Determine what your goals are, which inevitably will vary by product. And lastly, monitor key areas such as keyword and targeting performance, month-on-month trends, year-on-year trends, and strategically choose the best products to feature in sponsored ads. Amazon even have an email alert which advises you of such products, which is extremely useful to save you the time and effort from analyzing your overall product inventory to determine which ASINs to advertise on. Utilizing the correct marketing analytics tools is also essential if you want to accurately measure your marketing efficiency and campaign effectiveness. Without the right tool, it can be difficult or impossible to get a clear picture of how successful your strategies have been. Amazon portfolios are really a great way to organize and manage your sponsored products and sponsored brand campaigns. With the portfolio feature, you have the flexibility to arrange campaigns in a way that's meaningful for you, such as by brand, product category, season, and therefore matching the structure of your business and allowing you to take track of all the different campaigns in one place. I think one of the key advantages that portfolios offer is control over spend across your campaigns. So, once your portfolio budget is exhausted, all campaigns in that portfolio will automatically pause until you choose to reactivate them by increasing the actual budget related to that portfolio. And then one other advantage, which is often underlooked of portfolios, is to actually help simplify your invoice process. So it makes them easier to understand. The billing statements that you receive can leverage your portfolio structure so that you can see how much has been spent by brand, for example, or product during the actual billing cycle. So they're super easy to set up, and once done, you can effortlessly customize those portfolios either by inline edits or through bulk sheets, and it's just as easy as a few clicks. In conjunction with portfolios, another extremely useful tool here is Amazon's budget rules, which can be a great asset for staying on top of your costs and reduce your time spent actually monitoring and manually adjusting your campaigns. With performance or schedule-based rules, you can ensure that high-performing campaigns don't run out of budget. You can set sufficient budgets for important shopping events and receive budget recommendations as well based on, for example, previous year's performance. Another example here, during an important shopping event such as Prime Day or Black Friday, you can set your budget to increase by 50% to help make the most of that anticipated increase in shoppers. You can even create rules to increase budgets when your campaign hits a certain performance target, which is extremely useful. But regardless of how you're optimizing campaign efficiency, marketers need to be taking a closer look at the customer buying patterns and other behavioral data. It's possible to actually further maximize returns by directing more funds towards campaign strategies that are netting positive results. I can't emphasize enough, but one of the main areas to improve efficiency is with the reporting and insights. don't waste your time and effort doing this manually. Amazon have a multitude of reports available to you for you to understand the performance of your marketing efforts. They're all listed here, the different types of reports that you can pull. One of my favorites is a newer one, the budget report. With this report, you can quickly identify campaigns with a good ACoS and filter on those that had an average time in budget less than 100%. And in those instances, you would ideally want to increase the budgets on these because they're your higher performing campaigns. And then alongside Amazon's performance, we wanted to call out how Marin can supplement here. So we have automated insights that are available as well via our platform. These are listed in a kind of widget situation. You can kind of see on screen here. And this again helps save time from manual analysis as well as implementation of those insights. With Marin, it's a simple click of a button in order to implement those changes. And as you can see on screen here, you also get potential forecasted uplift with the changes that you would take with those insights.
Awesome. Thank you for all of that, Jeremy. And now that we have this context into how marketing efficiency can be achieved using the available reports and insights, can you share with us a client example on how you were able to create efficiency in their campaigns and marketing strategy?
Yeah, we've got a great example on screen here. This is with Buyagift, who is a popular UK-based experience service. So they partnered with Marin to help drive their multi-channel marketing efforts because they had difficulties managing bids and as well with historical data constantly factoring into each of those bids. They were unsure how to manually calculate from a bidding perspective. So the main objective here was to link the Amazon accounts to Marin to quickly and clearly analyze sponsored ads performance. So collaborating with us, we ended up deploying Marin Bidding, which was set up to compare over day and day, month on month investment here. And if we go over to the next screen, we can kind of show you some results here, which were delivered with this. So you can see here the main improvement here was around revenue. We saw a 17% growth in revenue. Click volume improved as well, around 36%, and we saw a decline in cost per click by 7% as well. So from a partnership perspective, they were very, very pleased, and you can see we had some feedback on the next slide from the Buyagift team in terms of how Marin was able to efficiently help them on a go-forwards basis. So Marin's integration enabled a more robust algorithm-based approach on the bidding process, which delivered great results. Our peak season is quickly approaching, and we can now comfortably leave all the heavy lifting to Marin while focusing on the strategic positioning of our smart boxes in an ever-demanding marketplace.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And now this is a question for our audience. So I'd love for everyone to use that chat box to answer the following question. So that is, have you used any of these strategies in your own sponsored ads campaigns? So did you see a positive change if you have used any of those strategies, or no change? And if you haven't yet used any of these strategies, what do you think you might try first? So if you could navigate to that chat section and fill that out, we'd love to know. See some people say yes, they have used some of these strategies. Some people are saying that they're still learning. Something that you can think about is, have you used any of the creating or customizing budget tips that Jeremy shared? Just pointing out a strategy there. Some people have not, but they're really loving the information coming in. Awesome. Thank you everyone for participating in that. It's really great to hear what your experience has been and how this webinar is also helping you for your future experience. So now I think that this is a great transition into our next question here for you, Jeremy, which is, we would really love to know what your tips are to help advertisers today be more marketing efficient with their campaigns and planning.
Yeah, so we've got 6 tips on screen here in terms of the driving marketing efficiency. I will go into greater detail with regards to these on slides separately coming up, but to kind of give you a quick overview here. So follow best practices for product listings and operations, utilize sponsored product automatic campaigns, optimize your ad creative, take advantage of sponsored ads placement reports, execute video advertising with precision, and defend your brand and share of voice. So firstly, at its core, marketing efficiency is about making your end-to-end campaign process well optimized as possible. So while advertising tips and techniques are essential to keep your ad efforts performing at their peak, organic optimization and well-executed organizational processes are also an important piece of that end-to-end efficiency. And the first thing you need to do before sending inventory to Amazon is to create that shipping plan. This plan specifies what products, quantity, locations, which carriers should be used, and whether you like to label your products in-house or have Amazon do that. You can see here as well. So from an actual product listing perspective, I think Amazon really got home on this one, is making sure that all of your products are retail ready. So update your product listings, description names, and photography. It may be a good idea, as alluded to earlier on, is to kind of set up those portfolios, as well as you can see on the left-hand side here, automated pricing. It's a tool that can really help support you to make sure that you'll constantly be at the top of Amazon's best sellers and being more competitive with your pricing. So you can set rules in terms of percentage increases. And pricing really is a significant factor in being eligible for the featured offer on the product pages. So this free tool can adjust those prices automatically against your competition and improve your actual chances of becoming that featured offer on those detail pages. So choose the listings that you want to enroll, set those limits that I spoke about, and let Amazon keep your prices competitive, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while you focus on other aspects of your business. And on the right-hand side, I spoke about being retail ready. These are extremely important. Amazon actually released a blog post, as well as Marin as well. We've got blog posts specifically around being retail readiness in terms of optimizing your images, your descriptions, your bullet points, your headlines, making sure that you have enough reviews on your products and that you're answering those reviews, as well as everything else within that description line. Oh, I think I broke up there. Sorry, guys. Secondly is utilize sponsored product automatic campaigns. So again, I'll touch upon this actually in a couple more slides, but a lot of people kind of are a little bit unsure when everything's automatic. But I think from an Amazon perspective, it's not as black box. You are able to understand the performance of those automatic campaigns and then take those learnings and create those manual campaigns to be more tailored and more specific. And automatic targeting campaigns are really an efficient way to advertise on Amazon if you're looking to get up and running at a fast pace. It really does allow you to use first-party insights from Amazon to match your ad to keywords, products that are similar to the products in your ad, and automatic targeting potentially will help as well reach high intent shoppers at key moments in that journey. So there's a kind of strategy on the screen here, which generally should be utilized. I believe so anyway. Is, automatic campaigns, as I mentioned momentarily ago, are extremely important. This allows you to take those insights and create those sponsored brands campaigns. And if we're talking about sponsored product strategy, which we are on this slide here, you can see how from an automatic side of stuff, you can take the relevant targets and then use the targets specifically to create sponsored brands and sponsored display campaigns. And then from a products perspective here, you can take those relevant keywords, create manual campaigns for top keyword targets. You can also do the same for top ASIN targets, and then create like a secondary campaign here, which is specifically around categories. So effectively all you're doing here is harvesting and refining those automatic campaigns through manual campaigns as well. So make sure to utilize broad match keywords, category targeting, and then only the top targets are added to those ad groups with the highest degree of control. So exact match keywords or ASIN ad groups. And then from a brand's perspective, so once you've actually taken those targetings that were mentioned on the prior slide, create a product collection campaign, which should be created using exact match targeting with specific keywords that you harvested from your sponsored product, as well as creating a video campaign, which again should target specific high converting keywords. There's no point wasting effort on keywords that really aren't converting, especially when it comes to a video perspective. You really want to make sure that you are being as exact and specific to the product that's being advertised, as opposed to grouping the product collection version. In addition, you can kind of see two additional types of campaigns here using brand and generic keywords. Once again, harvested from automatic sponsored product campaigns. The generic keyword searches and brand keyword searches have likely have something in common, which is a willingness to browse. So Store Spotlight is a really good fit for both of those audiences. And because of the compelling nature of a video ad, it will draw attention to your brand, generating brand awareness. So they are likely to impart authority and trust and contribute to brand loyalty among those brand searchers. From a creative perspective, best practices is specifically around imagery. Try to understand what's the goal of your campaign. Does your product speak for itself in terms of use case? Does it require some understanding from a shopper? If your goal is to increase consideration, you might potentially want to include an image of that product with short bullets or a brief copy on the image highlighting unique features. You could showcase a lifestyle image, on the other hand, which is a great way to generate awareness for your brand and product by helping shoppers actually understand the applications for your product. So you can see on that screen there where somebody is on a exercise bike. They're in an environment that would generally, people would understand what that is about. Brand logos, make sure that it's clear on your ad creative, increase brand coverage. You're only going to establish that trust with customers and make an easy connection between you and between you and your product. From a headline, just use a headline that's simple yet impactful at the same time, and communicate your message clearly. My advice here would be to use plain language for the widest possible potential audience. Consider posing a question, solving a problem, incorporating humor, or even conveying empathy. Creatively worded headlines for your product should start with an action verb, while written headlines remind customers that purchasing your product, they will achieve and accomplish something specific. And then lastly, saving time with ad scheduling. So by creating variations of the same campaigns for different seasons, you may save time spent creating campaigns while testing different elements to learn what messaging or campaign targeting strategies resonate the best with shoppers. And then We'll just continue on with the best practices with regards to creative here. Make sure that everything is uncluttered. Simple ads perform the best. Research performed by Amazon found that ads had around 2.4% higher click-through rate on average when there were only 1 to 4 objects on the ad. So less is more here. Use contrast, size variations. When you are designing your composition, use high contrast before foreground and background to make sure that that product is easy to identify. Generally, you know, we advise making sure that the background is white and that your product really stands forwards. I think that's probably the best habit. You can have additional imagery, but your main image really should stand alone within a white background. Test multiple variances and sizes with regards to the objects, as well as just making sure that you can actually as well have almost an image that explains a little bit more about that product with bullet points like I mentioned. I think that's really great. But when it comes to actual overall sponsored brand, or when it comes to display video, just make sure that your main image is as clear as possible. Another interesting insight here from their research was that on average, the click-through rate was 1.6% higher when an ad's primary object was 4 times bigger than the next biggest object features. So a couple of points there. And then lastly, keep messages concise. So use a concise message to explain the value proposition of your product. A clear, concise message will generate more click-throughs and help increase your purchase rates. Sponsored ads placement reports do help provide valuable insights for both sponsored products and sponsored brands, which can help you adjust your campaigns to maximize their effectiveness. With the availability of placement bid modifiers from 0 to 900%, this report becomes critical in evaluating the performance of placements for your ads. You can then take those insights, set those modifiers to boost your bids for top of search and product pages, and it's really, you know, really simple to do so here. So just create that report, or, you know, sponsored products or a campaign placement report for sponsored brands. Review the placements within that report, adjust the bids by including that percentage increase. As mentioned here, your percentage increase are available for top of search and product pages, just not for rest of search. And then generally we would advise you to review these placement reports every 1 to 2 weeks and make the necessary adjustments, because what might be a good percentage increase from 1 week, the next week it might not, and therefore, you know, you're potentially increasing bids without the evidence in order to do so. Incorporate video ads wherever possible. So these are a great asset when it comes to marketing on Amazon. Through videos, customers have the opportunity to learn more about your product in a much more engaging way than with basic text or images. So Amazon's video ads, if you're not already aware, are now available to use as sponsored brands. So you can integrate them with your existing image-based ads. Make sure that you add text that conveys the message of your brand or extra details about your product. And also remember to save all your videos in either a .mov or .mp formats for optimum success. There's a couple of points on screen here. So 88% of Amazon shoppers polls say they were convinced to make a purchase after watching a brand video ad. And then 15 to 30 seconds really is the ideal ad length. Any longer, you're potentially going to lose that customers, and they may continue to scroll down the page. So just be as straightforward and informative as possible within those first 15 seconds. And then lastly, which is often overlooked, but I think it's an important part of every advertising strategy, especially in highly competitive categories such as health, beauty, and electronics, is making sure that you are increasing your share of voice as well as also defending your brand. So it may seem counterintuitive, but defend your branded space by targeting your own products to combat the risk of a consumer navigating to your own detail pages and then clicking on a competitor's product. This will, to reduce risk and wasted budget when targeting competitor products, make sure that that product is similar to the one you are selling to make sure that you have the best chance of a conversion to take place. Another one here is consider targeting complementary products that go well with yours. So for example, if you're selling, I don't know, a foundation brush, make sure that the product on the detail page, make sure you place your product on the detail page of a foundation or another kind of makeup product, which will help you kind of hijack those detail pages and as well as making sure that you are getting the best reach.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jeremy. And to wrap up our session today, before heading into that Q&A, do you have any other final recommendations or tips to share with our audience when it comes to marketing efficiency or optimizing sponsored ads campaigns?
I do. I think from a Marin perspective, we're all about omnichannel. We want to make sure that not only is Amazon advertising optimized as efficiently as possible, we want to make sure every channel and every publisher marketplace that is being utilized is the same. I think if you are running sponsored ads on search and social, there is no reason why you shouldn't be enabling Amazon attribution, especially if your checkout carts on your website aren't as intuitive. It may be that you send people to other marketplaces to actually make that purchase. Amazon attribution is extremely valuable from this sense. You can send your search ads, your social ads through to Amazon directly and see how that actually drives the growth. You can attribute both the revenue and the conversion data back to your search and social objects, even your display objects, and actually see what that can drive. Great. And then, so we've seen how smart automation like Marin provides, what Marin provides, and great ad placements like Amazon can completely change the trajectory of a business. So if you are interested in learning more about Budget Optimizer or any other tool that can streamline your work as a performance marketeer, please do reach out to us. As an added bonus, we are offering a free trial of Marin One exclusive to anyone who has attended this webinar. So please do take a picture of this QR code here on screen, scan it with your phone, and just fill out the details there, and somebody will be in touch. But yeah, thanks Amazon for having me, and I hope you've all gained something useful today.